All right, guys, let's do a bound, then let's get running round.
Yes, good hustle. Keep it going.
Are we listening? Are we listening?
Good afternoon, Jiu-Jitsu campers. Here we are for DadJitsu again on Friday. Before we go any further into this podcast, what you got on your neck there, mate? What's that? What's going on there? Oh, hello.
Yeah, just a bit of bling.
Oof, just casually wearing it everywhere.
Let's take it off.
Quite the win that was, mate, at Polaris. Quite the win indeed. Talk us through it from your perspective.
Yeah. Just a great day. A great day. It's not a big deal to some, but most people would be pretty buzzing to get on Polaris and win.
If you're in the jiu-jitsu world, Polaris is a very big deal.
Unless you're like one of the top pros. If you're like a hobbyist or, you know, a masters person, old git, then yeah, to get onto like a prelims on like one of the biggest shows in the world and get a win is like, it's big, isn't it?
It's quite the accolade.
So I was pretty chuffed, to be honest. I didn't even, to be honest, like it was the worst preparation that you could have for an event like that.
And you were injured.
Yeah, like before Naga, which was like 2 months before Polaris, I injured my like collarbone, my sternoclavicular joint.
Sure.
It wasn't too bad, so like I was fine for like Naga, but it was just sort of buzzing away in the background. And then I went skateboarding. So we found out about Polaris about 6 weeks out from the event. So that's when the match was confirmed. Went skateboarding that weekend, fell off, like didn't break full, planted my hand. This got much worse.
On the concrete or on the half
Yeah,
pipe
I was doing like a 5-0, like where you grind on the back track.
Oh yeah.
Standard.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
I do that most of the time.
Yeah, slipped up like backwards, put my hand on the ground. This really flared up. So I'm like in like, you know, week 1 of a 6-week camp or however you want to, you know, put it. I can't train.
Yeah.
I literally can't train at all.
Yeah.
Like I had 2 weeks of no training at all. That's the first 2 weeks of the 6-week camp were not training.
That's quite a lot. That's quite a lot of anxiety.
It was, yeah. Like
imagine,
you know, it was stressful. I found it very stressful because I'm like, fuck, like I really want to do well. Like it's really important to me, and I literally can't train.
Yeah.
So I get back to training, but I'm back to like light training. Do you know what I mean? I'm not like, right, I'm back to training, it's fine. I've had 2 weeks off, fine. No, I'm not fine. Like I'm still injured, but I'm like, I've got to fucking start training.
Yeah, push through
like,
it sort of
so
thing.
like I'm just playing from bottom, trying to attack legs, and I'm like going pretty light, training with like lighter people, lower belts who aren't mental, like
just
things
being a
like
bit more
that.
selective sort of thing.
Yeah. So I get like 2 weeks of training like that. My timelines might be slightly off, so I'm sorry. But yeah, roughly 2 weeks of training like that.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, right, I've got to like start up in the ante. And I get ill. And so like Monday night for me is like my big sort of like training night. It's hard. There's loads of good training partners there. I'm training to win. It's almost like my sort of event day. Like that's what I sort of judge my week on, is like how well was Monday night.
Okay.
And I can't go and train because I'm like full blown just like ill. So I'm like, fuck's sake, I'm like 2 weeks out and like this is one of my last like big training sessions and like I'm just gonna miss it. So I'm like stressed out. By the time Wednesday rolls around, which would be like my next training day, like I'm like still ill, but I'm like, I've got to train. Like I'm sorry, I've got to train. So I get like 3 sparring rounds in with someone, fairly good intensity, but like I'm blowing.
Yeah.
And then same thing on Friday, blowing out my ass. And because I'm increasing the intensity up on those rounds, trying to get like proper rounds starting from standing and stuff, the next day, like my collarbone's like fucking trashed.
Yeah.
So like, fight week, if you like, I trained the Monday, Tuesday collarbone feels terrible, but like, and like I didn't feel good training, and I'm still a bit ill. And then by the time Wednesday rolls around, I'm like feeling really shit. Like it's like the worst I've been for the whole illness. Like it keeps going up and down, up and down.
And what was it, like a cold or like?
Yeah, just like most of the time it was just like a subpar like cold, but then it would like every 3 days it seemed to like flare up into like a proper cold.
Okay.
So like Wednesday I'm like my nose is streaming, like my lungs are shit.
And it's probably training stripping you back to that.
Probably, yeah, because
Innit?
I'm just not letting myself recover.
Yeah.
Train Wednesday, again, collarbone felt better, but like the next day it felt shit. Training was like okay-ish. Oh, yeah, actually training wasn't too bad that day, I think I'd had that Monday night, I'd had a good Monday night because I knew it was fight week. Even though I was feeling like shit, I was like, I need to roll with people where I know I'm going to win. They're still good rounds and they're giving me good reactions, but I know I'm going to come away from it being like, yeah, that was a good round. Yeah. And by the end of the night, I'd like had like 3-4 rounds, so not many, but like good quality ones. And I was like, that's me done.
So that's like a state of mind thing.
Yeah. And then Wednesday rolled round. Wednesday, actually, I'm getting my weeks mixed up. Wednesday, I had to take my son for emergency dental treatment. So I was like, well, I can't train Wednesday, so that's me done before the event.
Yeah.
But then I did actually manage to get to class. What did I do Wednesday? I think I might have had like 1 round or something, just a really light round. And I was like, okay, this is fine. And then Friday morning, Thursday I felt like shit. Friday I was starting to feel a bit better. We just moved around a little bit, wasn't it? It was just like technique and stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then by the time Saturday came round, that was the first day in like 2 weeks that I'd actually not felt ill. Wow. And I was like, oh, I actually feel like okay today. So it sort of like was perfect. And like the collarbone didn't feel good, but like it was okay.
And then the adrenaline will have kicked in.
Yeah, literally. By the time, throughout the day, like you're nervous and stuff. Me and Dusty had a good warm up, got a good sweat on, got a bit out of breath. And I was like, I'm excited.
Ready.
Once we'd done that warm up, I was like, I'm not even nervous anymore.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like excited and I've got like anticipation.
That's such a powerful mindset to get into.
Yeah, and I'm like pacing. I'm doing my pacing, which I worked out at Nago. It's like good for me. I'm just up and down, pacing around, boom, boom, boom. And then by the time like I got out to the little bit where you had to stand in front of like the background and there's the lights and the smoke and stuff, I'm just buzzing.
Yeah.
I'm genuinely just excited. You go out, like this is the crowd, like the lights, and like you're not nervous at that point.
Yeah.
Like you can't be. Like obviously some people will be, but like I'm like, you just shouldn't be nervous at that point. This is it.
You're trying to get out your own way,
buzzing.
aren't you? Yeah.
Like, it's not going to get any better than this. Like maybe it will. Maybe you'll go on, you'll get on the main card. Maybe you'll fight for a title. Like I'm 42. That ain't happening.
Yeah.
But so for me, like this is the peak of my jiu-jitsu career. Like maybe not, but like it might be.
And so perception is a big part of that, isn't it? Like,
so you've got to enjoy it.
Yeah.
You can't look back and be like, oh, I was just so nervous I couldn't enjoy it. You've wasted potentially one of the most enjoyable experiences of your life. Do you know what I mean? Because if this is your passion and you're like, this is it, I'm doing this for the rest of my life. Yeah. This is my passion. Yeah. I'll dedicate my whole life to it. These are like important things.
Those are the moments. Yeah, definitely. And it's a really good way of getting out of your own way. And but it's so easy to slip into just being too focused on the fact that I could lose and I could
and when we first started the match and a couple of thoughts snuck in. He got like a sort of straight arm lock grip from like full guard, and I was like, fuck, this is the bad side, this is the collarbone side. And I was just like, I might have to tap here. And then so that negative thought came in, like, I might have to tap, and then that sort of triggered off like just tapping it, it's all over there.
Of course,
and, you don't have to worry anymore. And then I'm like, just kind of just work. Okay, my elbow's back. Okay, I'm out. Okay, and then that thought's gone. Now I'm back in the moment. I'm enjoying it. Let's go.
You've weathered the storm.
Yeah, and then there were no more negative thoughts. Pretty much in the whole match, it was just we're doing jiu-jitsu and I'm fucking loving it. Yeah, like obviously I like nearly finished the armbar. His elbow popped a few times apparently. People say he tapped. Well, I don't know. I don't think he did, but he was just sort of trying to like clear the knee sort of off his head. But I thought like this is it. Like armbar's like probably my highest percentage submission. I'm like this is it. I'm fucking gonna win.
I saw you slap the arm, I was like this.
But fair play to the guy. He fucking escaped well. He did really well there. And then he took my back. And so the only other negative thought I had was maybe this is just going to be my brand.
Okay, at the end of the
I
match.
always get finished by rear naked choke in the last 10 seconds.
As soon as that happened,
Maybe this is my brand.
everyone in our team, you could feel everyone's arsehole tied up. Like, no, not again. It didn't you even say not again. That's all you
In
made
my head,
something to
I
yourself.
was just sort of like, not again, mate. This is not happening again.
It's like,
And then when I watched it back the first time, I was like, oh, he got quite close to the armbar. But actually what happened is he transitioned off the armbar. I was like, great, I'm going to get out of this now. Started pushing his leg off my head. The buzzer goes and I let my arm go and he kind of strips it out. But when I watched it, I was like, oh, he actually extended my arm out. But the only reason I let that happen because the buzzer goes and I was like, all right, I'm getting out.
yeah, okay.
So
yeah.
it wasn't
Yeah.
as it looked sort of thing.
Yeah, okay.
And then, like, I was, like, pretty confident I won that first round. But then watching it back the first couple of times, I was like, oh, it's closer than I thought, actually. Like, he got to the back. Like, he didn't have any real good sub attempts because he didn't go for a submission from the back. But he just got into those positions. And, like, he sort of grabbed, like, a front headlock at one point, and I sort of escaped that. But I think just on domination, like, on just... and I had the deep sub attempt, plus a couple of guard passes. Like...
I would say
did
you definitely
enough. I did
dominated.
enough. And then in the second round, again, I had a head and arm choke, like that was pretty deep. Fair play to the guy who got out of that as well.
Again, I thought that was going on. The way that the angles of that, it was like, that must be fucking tight.
Yeah. And yeah, I passed his guard a couple of times, got to mount, that sort of thing. So, yeah, I just felt I loved it. And when I watched it back, I was like, oh, that was actually a really good match. Like,
It was, and also...
It was quite enjoyable to watch. Like, even if you didn't know either of us, it would have been quite enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, there's lots, a lot of flamboyant movements and stuff. Yeah, it was wicked.
That's good.
And the fact that you did the jokey oil check thing at the end, it was like...
It's got to be done.
It was got to be
His
done.
ass was in my face so much, I was like, shall I?
Yeah. Yeah, there it is. But
right there.
but again, it's that showman thing that kind of... That indicates that you were just relaxed.
I felt relaxed.
Do you know what I mean? Because you thought about making a joke in the middle of... I suppose towards the end of the round, towards the end of the match, you probably thought, I've probably got this in the bag. So you kind of relaxed a bit more. And you saw that opportunity and you kind of used the shit that, did something that a showman sort of thing. It just proved that you were kind of just chilling.
You gotta fucking have fun.
Yeah, totally, yeah. But if you were blowing out your arse and you felt like you were on the back foot, you wouldn't think to do that.
No,
so
I never really felt...
It was indicative of your state of mind.
I felt tired in the 1 minute break in the middle. But by the time we came out, I could see he looked a bit tired, and I was like, fuck this, let's just go.
Full send, baby.
Yeah. So,
and as you say, you're on fucking Polaris.
Yeah, that's what
I mean. This is the moment to do it.
If it's only going to happen a finite amount of times. Maybe there's going to be one that, if it happens again, hopefully it'll happen again. Maybe there is going to be one that I won't enjoy and it'll be really hard, whatever. But at least I've got 2 in the bag now that I've loved every second of.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Every second?
Well, the thing is, I didn't tap in the first one. I just went to sleep, so that was quite enjoyable.
So you enjoyed it? Yeah. Just you're knackered. And
it was a bit disconcerting coming round.
Yeah.
I can't remember what I was thinking. I think I thought I was on the sofa at a party.
Did you? Well,
I was just confused. No, the first time I ever got choked unconscious, I was coming around and I thought I was on a sofa at this party house we used to go to. And I was like, what the fuck's all nice? And I was like, oh shit, I'm in a jiu-jitsu class. What the fuck's going on? There, I was just really confused by this din of noise, humming in the background. I was just like, what is that fucking noise? What's going on?
And that was the crowd.
And then it was the crowd cheering. And then I'm like, oh, and the ref was there like, you're all right. And I was like, did I go out? He was like, yeah.
It's funny, isn't it? I've never had it happen. I've never been choked out, but because of
challenge accepted.
I was going to say, let's leave that wide open.
No,
for
he's
everybody.
tapping. No, he needs it. He needs it.
Yeah, education, son, education. But I imagine it's different to being knocked out, where you kind of you're aware.
That's
the beginning part of it. Yeah, but what I mean is you're aware of it because you get a shot and you're like, oh, and then you go out. Whereas I imagine getting choked is you're just fighting the hands or whatever, then all of a sudden, what? And you wake back up.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, it was great experience. CJ Smith was a really nice guy, nice opponent. It's always most of the time it's the same in Masters. People are generally pretty nice.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll get another chance.
Yeah.
On Polaris, and hopefully he'll have a good show. It was a good day. Phil had a tough match, bit of a boring match really, actually, because of his opponent just sort of stalling.
Yeah.
But he got the win, and Dusty just unfortunate went up against a really good opponent and just shit happened and he lost. But that's just the way she goes. Isn't it?
It is,
Sometimes.
and it gives you an idea of the. They always say this. There's levels to this.
Yeah,
with
yeah,
how good Dusty is, and how good Frank must be to do that quickly. And sometimes it's just unfortunate positioning, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. It just the way she goes sometimes.
Yeah,
but
it is.
It was just another amazing event, and I think they're doing
Really?
more events next year. I think they're doing like 6 next year.
Right.
So I've already started the messages.
Of course.
I'd love to go on another show.
Yeah. Please.
I'd like to do like one of the other ones, not just the Bournemouth ones. Get to London or Wales or wherever. Mm-hmm. But yeah,
It's just such a solidly run event, isn't it?
oh, it's amazing.
It's
It's the best.
Every part of it is
It's the
good,
best.
isn't it?
Yeah. It's the best. And I think that, they're on Flow Grappling now. So
Is that right? I didn't know
so
that.
they've left UFC Fight Pass now, and they've gone over to Flow Grappling. My initial was like, I don't really like Flow Grappling because of the like payment structure. However, that being said, I think I'd be interested to talk to Matt about it, and maybe we'll try and get him back on.
Yeah, for sure.
Because what it seems like is that all the other events are essentially pooling together, so that because if you think so, the whole thing with like the UFC BJJ is like the exclusive contracts means that. So Fionn, for example, now on an exclusive contract, I'm assuming you're not going to see her on any other shows. That was her last show on Polaris, and she's only going to be on UFC BJJ now. All right, so I think what's happened, if you look at all the shows now that are being streamed on Flow Grappling, it's almost like all of the other shows, big shows certainly, like are on Flow Grappling, and then it's UFC BJJ standalone, and I guess you've got ONE FC standalone as well. But all the other shows are there. So any athlete that's on Polaris or on Who's Number One or on BJJ Stars, they're all under kind of Flow Grappling from like a sort of like
an umbrella.
where you're going to watch it.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming, and they've already started doing this on the socials. It looks like all those athletes are going to be circulating between all of those shows.
Yeah.
So you've got a massive pool of like high level athletes over here, and then a growing, I guess, pool in the UFC of athletes.
Yeah.
But I would say from like a sort of opportunities to get matches and get money and earn money, it's probably better being under the Flow Grappling.
It's a no-brainer.
Because you've got all these top level shows, or you've got UFC, BJJ, and I guess maybe, well, no, they're just standalone.
But a lot of that is the name.
Well,
alone.
that's it. It's how is that going to develop?
Yeah. And
Maybe it's going to develop to be the best place to be. Maybe. But
I like the fact that, like, is it Tanto? So look, these places are like feeder events for Polaris. And for that same reason, they all kind of, they're all pointing towards that.
Yeah.
And the best kind of rise to the top, and then they get their opportunity to go there. It stands to be a much bigger sort of situation, doesn't it?
But I think it could be great for Polaris going over there, because they were already talking about doing like a Who's Number One team versus Polaris team event.
God.
Like, how sick would that
It'd be amazing.
Like, you got like the likes of like Mika Galvao and stuff like that. Like, the teams could be like absolutely insane. So yeah, it's exciting.
That's like super team.
Yeah, definitely,
situation, isn't it?
definitely.
Amazing.
Yeah,
So yeah, it was a good event, good takeaway, great victory, and that's how you dominated the whole time, man. Certainly from where we were sitting. And yeah, it was just great. It's the venue's really good.
yeah, it's
Just everything about it's just well run, isn't it?
yeah.
No.
It's banging.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Do you wanna-
this is technically our Halloween episode. We're a little bit
Yeah,
late.
we're a little bit late for.
We're not in fancy dress. So.
No, we can overlay that. It's fine.
Actually, that is true. We could use AI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the-
Don't
What-
worry though, ASMR people. We do have food with us
Yeah.
to start chomping on whilst we're talking. So that is
Yeah, that's part of the brand.
important.
I've been easing them in gently with a bite every so often.
We've actually gone not to Baffle today. We've gone somewhere called Ted's, and the sandwiches. They like the term doorstop sandwich has never been more applicable than these. They're literally weighted. It's like a kilo.
Yeah.
And you could hold a door open with it easily. Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible bread, fillings.
Yep. Hefty.
Fucking just insane.
I can feel I'm going to be in a food coma on the way
Yeah,
home.
we had one yesterday, actually. I had this yesterday, and like I could have taken a nap on the sofa like, easily. Yeah, easily. So.
The other place we need to mention as well, which we haven't done yet, but I'm sure it will come up, is Crazy Crumb.
Crazy Crumb, yeah, that's my new fave place. We didn't go there for lunch today, but I popped in this morning to get some bread.
Well, and they're jiu-jitsu people.
And they
right?
are jiu-jitsu people.
It's
The
like double
son
whammy,
does
innit?
jiu-jitsu. The dad sometimes does it with him.
Yeah.
They're like a lovely, like multi-tier generational bakers.
Yeah, really
Everything's done right. Just fucking great people. And they are jiu-jitsu people. So basically, if you're a business and you are a jiu-jitsu person, tell me where you are and I will utilize you. I will use your business. So if you're in Portsmouth and you're a jiu-jitsu person, you've got a business, put it in the comments and I'll start using you and promoting
and we'll give you a shout out.
That's the way it goes.
Yeah.
You know, you got to support each other, haven't you?
Yeah, let's all look after each other.
Can you see the little like volume meter from where you are on the screen? Top left-hand corner on the screen.
Yeah. We're kind of hitting the halfway point.
It's still like flashing every time
up.
we talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. It's just I can't see it, but yeah, that's good.
I was you were relying on my my eyesight then.
Yeah, that's not good.
So it's a dodgy,
It's not good.
sticky wicket to be on that one.
I'm going to take a bite. So
Cool.
we were going to talk about the paranormal.
Can we do it? We need a dun dun dun. Because we've had a few experiences individually, haven't we?
Yeah.
That we've talked about. Well, go on. You said you had a specific one you wanted to.
You open up because I've just taken a mouthful of Korean chicken.
Okay.
Let me just insert. The other day, me and Steve went for a little meeting, and we were sat eating something, and we were using the same napkin to wipe our mouths.
And we didn't realise it until like the fourth time. We've got so used to swapping fluids.
Wow.
It just happens now, all on its own, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So paranormal. So I've had I wouldn't say I've had like actual like seen ghosts or anything. I'll get to the bit I was going to say in a bit, but my mum's had quite a few. Well, apparently when I was a kid, the house that we grew up in, it turns out from what my mum said was actually there was something there. Had I fucking known that as a child, I never would have slept. Right? Thank God she kept that from me until I was an adult. Because I used to have always had crazy dreams, really like trippy dreams right from being a kid. Recurring dreams within dreams sort of thing. Really like mad dreams. Always running to their room in the middle of the night with a nightmare and stuff. So had I known that there was,
You were possessed.
maybe there was something running through me. So there's one story she'd always told.
Railing you.
Yeah, against my will in my sleep. She always tells this story of when I was a kid. I was about 5. Maybe I was a bit younger because she was taking me to nursery, so I was younger than 5. And I think it was probably my sister was a little baby, or she hadn't been born yet. And my dad had gone to work. It was just me and mum in the house. He took me downstairs, sorted me out, went to the toilet, and then took me to nursery, whatever. And nothing wrong with the house whatsoever. She came back, and the bathroom that she'd just been in, there was nothing wrong with. It was one of those like old school like avocado. It was pink, but it was one of those old school 70s bathroom suites, but everything's the same colour. And she said the whole thing had toothpaste smeared all over it, like something had squirted toothpaste in its hand, and just on the mirrors, on the sides of the bath, on the sides of all the tiles and stuff. And she said it was terrifying because I came back. I just dropped you off. Came back in the house on my own, and it was like, what is this?
Had you done it before you went to nursery?
Yeah. No, because I was too little. She'd take the story. She'd taken me downstairs, and she came back. Oh, to use the toilet. She'd come back to the toilet, and there's nothing wrong with the bathroom. Then she took me to nursery, and she came back.
Brothers or sisters that could have done it?
No, I'm the oldest. There was nobody else in the house. There was, it's whatever you like.
Someone broke in.
I guess so.
Some Burnley
fandom
toothpaste.
phantom toothpaste smearer. Yeah, bizarre sort of. And she said she always felt like there was a presence in what was my sister's room. And one particular night, she always felt like there was someone looking over, not like necessarily a malevolent presence, but just something there. And she said that she was looking over at my sister in her cot, and she said she felt like someone came behind her and almost put their hands on her hips, and she bolted to the bedroom, and there was just like left her child there. But she was just like, yeah, just get the fuck out of there, sort of thing. Because she didn't understand it, I don't think she necessarily felt like it was a malevolent presence.
Did she ever look back into like who lived in the house previous to her?
No, I don't think so. But she hasn't said so. But she
That's
always
what
thought
you
it was.
wanna do.
She always thought it was some family member. Like she said, like a Rebecca or someone like that. She said felt like it was someone from the family. But who's to know? But she's had some crazy, because she was a nurse. She still is a midwife. She's seen some shit in the hospital. Heard like doing a night shift, what used to be like a child oncology ward, but now it's an adult one. You can hear babies crying in the night or stuff, you know?
I had
you
a couple,
like that?
Yeah, I had a couple when I was nursing. One of the last jobs I did was at the Priory, which is like a private mental health ward in like an old stately home, basically, over in Southampton. And I used to do shift work there, like agency work, and it was mostly night shifts. Like I did a few day shifts, but the night shifts were like £35 an hour.
Hello.
Which at the time was like fucking good money. I mean, it's still good money now. So I go up and do these night shifts, and like it was like me. I was like in charge because I was the nurse in charge, and then it was like 1 or 2 support workers, and there's like 8 to 10 kids there. Most of them are like self-harmers, trying to kill themselves, that sort of thing. A lot of like autism and ADHD, like occasionally someone would be psychotic, but it was mostly self-harm and stuff.
Okay.
And the staff are like, oh yeah, there's like a little boy ghost that haunts the hallway. So we're in like the office. Let's say like this is like the ward was like a sort of this shape. So we're in the office down here. There's the main living quarters here, like living room, and then there's a corridor here with rooms off it.
Okay, yeah.
And to do obs, you'd have to go and do obs every 15 minutes to go and check on them.
God, 15-minute obs.
It's pitch black. And then you take a torch, which is the only light on the ward, and you'd have to go to their door and shine it through their room into a pitch black room to check on them.
Bloody hell.
Can you imagine how scary that is?
That's a horror movie.
That's what I mean. I'm just like, this is fucking terrifying.
In the dead of night as well.
And the person's like told me about, oh yeah, there's a little ghost. Occasionally people see it, like little boy that like lives in that corridor. I'm just like, God. And they're like, yeah, what's he doing? I'm just like, you fucking kidding me?
Not a fucking
you want me
chance.
to go out there and like shine a torch around? Like that. And I'm scared anyway because I'm shining it through the window like, you don't know what you're going to find. It could be something fucking hanging in there, or someone's like done a load of self-harm, and like then you're going to have to deal with that. Like, so you're kind of on edge anyway. Luckily, like there was never any. I mean, there were problems that happened whilst I was working there, but like luckily that situation never happened when I'm shining a torch in and finding something bad.
But that's going to be running.
Fuck. Like, I never saw anything, but it was fucking terrifying.
I bet.
Like fucking terrifying. The only thing, like weird thing that I experienced nursing was when I was training to be a nurse, and I worked on this older people's ward. And it wasn't a creepy ward because it was like a brand new ward. But this bloke died. So everyone was like a bit stressed because like I don't really know the guy, but you know, obviously they'd known him, he'd been there for a while, so they're a bit upset and a bit stressed, and they're running around sort of flapping like, oh, what do we need to do? And basically what we had to do was like clean him and get him ready, put his clothes, put like a suit on, whatever they wanted to wear, because his family were going to come see him, and it was the first time they'd seen him. They weren't there while he died.
Yeah, okay.
So you have to clean him, kind of like
make him look presentable,
empty his body of like, we're not like doing like a, you know, we're not like the coroners or anything. This is literally just happening. He's like still pliable.
He's still warm.
Basically. So, but we're just having to like get him into some sort of shape. Like,
I've had to do that a few times. It's not a fun experience, is it?
Oh, you know what? It wasn't fun.
It's kind of like,
but I felt honoured to do it.
Going to use that word,
because I was the only person that was going to do that. Me and the team of people that did that. Like, that's never going to happen to him again.
And it's the last thing, isn't it? That's exactly
so
the right.
I felt really honoured to do it, and it was a good learning experience. One of the best experiences I've had being a nurse, sort of thing. And so, and it was, you know, it was kind of funny as well at times because like you'd move him, and like it would be like, oh, would like come out of his mouth because like all this air's got to go somewhere. It can't stay in there. So like you move him, and then it's just coming out of like he's farting and it's
coming through the vocal cords and
so that was quite interesting. Anyway, the weather. This was probably like an evening shift, so we're probably talking about like 6-7 o'clock. Weather's like fine outside. There's no problem. But like as we start doing it, there's like a gale starts up, like blowing hard wind, like but out in the hallway in the ward. And I'm like, this is weird. Like I've been on the ward for like a couple of weeks, let's say, like maybe 4 or 5 weeks, 6 weeks. Never experienced that. Like it's just very hospital, sterile environment sort of thing. But like it's blowing wind, like gale going on. I'm like, well, this is bad. Like, it's really weird. And then the nurse, like one of the old nurses, like, oh, you got to open the window to let like the spirit out or whatever. So she does that. And yeah, like when I go back out of the room, back into the cool, like there's nothing going on.
Wow.
And I'm like, where was that noise? Like, what was going on? Like, and I leave to the shift, and it's just like there's no weather.
Nothing there.
It's just like a calm evening.
Wow.
Fucking weird.
It's the spirit.
Yeah,
Spirit
there's
leading.
definitely something there.
That's
There's
crazy.
definitely something there.
I mean, I do kind of believe, I wouldn't say I'm religious, but I'm certainly not atheist, but I've always described myself as a militant agnostic. Like, I don't know, and neither does the next person, sort of thing. And I do believe there's something, but I don't think we fully understand, we're a long way off understanding what it is if there's something there. But did you just reminded me, talking about dealing with dead patients. When I worked on the wards, I had to deal with a number of I had to do that exact job. So it'd be the last person when I was a healthcare support worker. And again, my mum, I always spoke to my mum for advice, and she said the same thing. So just every time you get in those situations, just imagine it's Nan, and just that person. That's the last thing you're going to do for them. You should be honoured. Anyway, there was this lady that had been on the ward for a long time. She was, lovely lady, and she died. And she was full of edema, like you often are when you're like palliative, and so her body was all swollen up, lots of fluid in this tissues, and we informed the relatives, and they were coming in. It was a night shift, and so she was in a cubicle on her own, and they wanted us to take her rings off, for to take them home for safekeeping and stuff before she went to Rose Cottage, or the porters came and picked her up and took her to the morgue. So I was I was fairly new, and I was a little bit, it's probably like my second dead body, and I was the one going in there doing it on my own. It's middle of the night, it's quiet, and I'm just trying to get these rings off her. And I'm fighting this irrational urge of her sitting there going, get off the rings! Sort of thing. Do you know what I mean?
I totally get that.
And complete silence in this room, just trying to sort of clean her up. And I'd completely forgotten she had a subcutaneous morphine driver. Which is like, as you know, it's like it's like a little machine that sort of periodically infuses the morphine. And because it was a completely silent room, and I'm fighting this irrational thought of us getting cross with me for the rings, and he went like that. I shit a dick, like I absolutely crap myself because it was complete silence and this sudden noise. Cause I was at high alert anyway. Oh my god, my heart was going like the clappers. Those moments are just crazy, aren't they? Yeah. But I do you're right. Those moments when you are dealing with the dead, I've always felt like there was a smell to death. Yeah, definitely. Do you know what I mean? It's not even so much like it's the body. There was a certain smell that wasn't there when they're alive. And it's I remember one time there was one guy that was looking after the same thing, end of life care, and I was looking after him, and he was there, he was alive, and I remember I was just in and out, as you do on the day, in and out of the different rooms and stuff, and I just went back in, and he'd gone, and just there was just an energy that just wasn't there anymore, which I guess you could call that the soul or whatever, depending on your leaning. Yeah, it's really inexplicable, isn't it? What is not there once they go.
Yeah.
But yeah, those. Have you got any more?
Yeah.
Go
so
on. There's one you told me recently.
Well, yeah. Okay, let's start with that one.
Yeah.
My parents' house is definitely haunted.
The current house.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
My dad said he saw a little boy standing at the edge of the bed.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know. How terrifying
Instantly
is that?
move.
Yeah, literally.
Town.
But he woke up in the middle of the night and just looked, rubbed his eyes. Little boy stood at the end of the bed and he's like, what the fuck? Rubbed his eyes again. It's gone.
Wow. Did he look into any history?
No, there was an old lady that lived there and died before they moved in, but he hasn't really looked into it. My little cousin, Asa, he was in the study and said to her, maybe it was his dad or his mum, I can't remember, who's that man standing there in the sandals, I think he said. There's just no one there.
Wow.
Yeah. And then the most recent one, which me, Sophia, and Sophia's sister all saw, we're at dinner. So when we eat dinner around there, the adults sit around the adult table and the kids sit at the kids' table, which is because there's usually so many of us, we can't all get around the same table. And their table's in the other room, sort of there's 2 rooms adjoined, and there's like glass doors that we open up. They're in there, we're in here. We're all eating. We're around the edge of the table, and there's like the door out is there, and they're sort of there. And Casper like goes out down the hallway, and we're like, fuck's sake, Sophia's like a bit like on high alert. She's like, like she's worried that he's going to let himself out the door.
Okay.
So she's like, I'm going to go and like check, and she goes out in the hallway, and she's like, where's Casper? She comes back, and she's like, where did Casper go? And I'm like, he's just sat there. Like they're all there.
She saw someone else that she thought was him.
But she was like, I just saw someone go out there, and I was like, I did as well. And Victoria was like, yeah, so did I. Wow. And we saw this little figure about that high go from the living room out into the hallway.
Wow.
But all the kids, none of them had moved.
Whoa.
Yeah. It was creepy. Yeah,
That is mad.
Yeah. And there's like, I've sat in certain positions, and there are certain things where you can see people reflected from the kitchen in certain doors and things like that. But we weren't there. And the way that the position I saw it go from, there's no reflection to be had. There's no glass. It's just, he was there and he walked along there and went out there.
Yeah, I imagine you've sat down and tried to break it down and rationalise it in every angle ever since. Yeah, mad.
Yeah, so that was weird. There have been a few other times. There was a restaurant I worked at in Albert Road, which was called Moo Moo at the time. It's now called Gin and Olive.
Okay.
So if you're listening and you work in Gin and Olive,
Look out.
get in contact if you've experienced the same thing, because they must have the same thing. I was the chef, and I was just a deadbeat fucking stoner, really. And I was the only chef there. And most of the day I was spent sat at the bar, and one of the girls would be on the bar, and we'd just be sat there chatting, drinking coffee, and occasionally I'd cook something when someone would come in.
Sounds like a dreamy life.
It was great. Just stoned all the time.
Again, sounds like a
Don't do drugs. So, yeah, we'd just be sat there, and we would just hear chairs being dragged around upstairs, like someone's organising a party. And we'd go upstairs, nothing. There's no one there. No one's been moving anything. The sound stops.
It stops as you go in?
Yeah, like once you get upstairs, like it's done sort of thing.
And is anything moved?
No.
What the fuck? That's almost like
And
an
it would
argument.
happen all the time.
Really?
All the time. And we, maybe it was like the adjoining, but I can't remember what the adjoining businesses were. I don't think they were like bars or anything. And it could have been one of them, but it sounded like it was fucking coming from up there. Like,
was it a chair
looking
manufacturer?
up there being like, the noise is there. Like, and then going up there and nothing's happening. Another time I was in the kitchen. So, obviously put this to the backdrop that I am literally stoned out of my face at all times during this period of my life.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Only on the weekends, thank you.
Not even then. But I was like washing up in the kitchen, and there are like 2 shelves above me where all the pots and pans are. And I'm washing up, and the pots and pans just like fly into the wall behind me.
Whoa.
So they don't, and one of them was a little bit tilted, like the shelves. So they could slide off.
That's not going to go
But
over your head.
this is the thing. If they slipped off, they would land on my head.
Yeah.
But they didn't. They like crashed into the wall behind me.
Wow.
And I'm like,
Time to hand in my resignation.
yeah. So that was weird.
Crazy.
And then the other weird one that I had, where we saw something again, was there was a pub in Southsea called a Havana.
I remember Havana.
Yeah, so if you're
Palmy
at Southsea old enough, you'll know, and it was like a good place to go.
Havana was wicked.
Good piss ups.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of friends who kind of worked in there, and for a period of time we lived above it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, cool.
Those 2 flats, 100% haunted. So the experience I had, there was like a hallway here, big hallway, room here, and then the hallway goes off down here, and there's a couple more rooms.
Yeah.
And then there was like the living room here.
It's very studenty, that place, wasn't it? The whole
it
building.
was like student. It was mental. So me and another friend are like in the hall, in the living room, which has got like a kitchen adjoined to it, like all one room. And then we used to have like this guy called like Marcus, I think his name was. He was like a bit of a reprobate. Like when he moved out, like we found like piss jugs and stuff, like loads of them in his cupboard and things.
Wow.
Like, I don't think he was mentally okay. Let's just say that. Anyway, we're sat there and I'm like, oh, is Marcus in? And Chris is like, no, he's not in. And I'm like, well, who have I just seen walking out in the hallway then? Because like I'm like sat there watching TV and I can just see in the corner of my eye someone just like walks in the hallway. His lights are off out there, so it's very dark, but towards his room.
Right.
And he's like, no one's in. It's just me and you. Wow. And there's no one else in. Crazy. But I 100% saw someone walking out there in that hallway.
They do say that a lot of stuff happens at the corner of your eye, don't they? If you see stuff.
Yeah. It was a little bit more than the corner of my eye. It wasn't
Really?
like, oh, I've seen something move. It's like, I've seen someone.
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely someone.
Yeah.
Walking out there.
Fucking hell.
So that was creepy.
Crazy,
and there
man.
was some people we knew who lived in the flat above. And quite a few, we'd known a few people that had lived in that flat, a few different groups of people, and they'd all said that they'd seen, I think, like various different ghostly apparitions. And again, this is all secondhand, so yeah, I wasn't there for this. But one of them, he said that he'd come home to the flat. He's quite a, like, normal geezer, and he said that he was like chatting away to this little boy. He just assumed it was like one of his flatmates, like relatives. And then he'd like gone out or whatever and then come back and like chatting to his mate. He was like, oh, if you got like your nephew round or something. They're like, no. What are you talking
Full
about?
conversation with a ghost.
Yeah,
Fuck
that's
me.
what he said.
Fuck me.
Again, a lot of drugs being
I
done.
was going to
at
say,
that point.
yeah, that's
So who knows if that's true. But it just added to the freaky experiences. I think actually one time we were in Havana, we were all playing pool, like lock-in, classic sort of situation. And there was like a gin and tonic in the middle of like one of those circular single tables. And it just went from the table to the floor, nothing spilt at all. Like no one saw it get moved.
Okay.
So maybe someone moved it and then they're winding us up.
Oh, yeah.
However,
Yeah, that's mad.
everyone was like, no one's moved that. Yeah. And it went from the table to the floor.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's a funny one, isn't it? You could assume that a building is...
I mean, that's an old building.
Yeah, but what I mean is...
Really old.
Yeah, the building is what houses the spirit or whatever it might be. But, so the house that my parents are currently in, they've moved to a different house when I was about 13. My mum still gets some of these experiences now. I'm like, does it follow her?
Maybe.
She's had things where, like when she was training to be a nurse, when we first moved there, and she'd be doing like an assignment like late into the night, one time in particular, and again, we're all in bed. She's completely silent. She's right away, and this stone just lands on the table and comes towards her, and she just got to the point where she had enough of this experience where she just went, "No, you don't. I'm too busy. Leave me alone." And she said it didn't happen after that sort of thing, but it was just. Yeah, she's obviously got some of us have just got a sensitivity to it, I guess.
I think so, yeah, I think some people are definitely more in tune with it.
Yeah. I think I've never had an experience like that, and I'm glad about that, because I wouldn't favour it.
None of the experience, so I can imagine having certain experiences would be terrifying. None of the ones that I've had were terrifying.
Okay.
They were just like weird.
Bit odd.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do, however, and we've talked about this, I think you and I both have experiences of this, where I've kind of, something has happened and a series of coincidences have lined up. It's just like, well, how? I had a feeling that something would happen in a weird kind of almost backwards way, and then it ended up happening. So, example of that. So, I know that, they say that mathematically it's more, what's the word? It's more, it would be more odd if you didn't have some coincidence in your life than if you did. Yeah. Mathematically speaking. However, so I'll tell you two of them. So the first one was, so there's a really good friend of mine who we went to college together and we lost contact for various reasons. He went off into London to do all session work and stuff, and I sort of like went into function stuff. We just kind of lost contact. Gigolo. Yes, yeah, Gigolo, yeah. We'll call it what it is. Male slave. Yeah. 7-8 years we lost contact, and to the point where like, we just, we'd completely lost contact. And one Christmas, and Ben was really little. He was probably 18 months, maybe a year, to the point where like he was babbling, sort of thing. He wasn't really even talking properly. And I went shopping in Basingstoke, which is where my friend James, his mum, lives. And I remember that from back in the day. And we got to like Festival Place shopping centre in Basingstoke, and I got Ben out, and I just suddenly I was like, I wonder, Basingstoke, James's mum lives in Basingstoke. God, I wonder what he's up to these days. And then 10 minutes later, I bumped into him in the Costa. And when I told him that at the time, it was just like, oh, this is so bizarre. I was just literally just thinking about it. I hadn't thought about it for years. And then it turns out, he said, it was actually a weird coincidence that he was in town. He said, I was back home because it was Christmas time. I was getting some Christmas present wrapping done. And I needed, my mum's always got Christmas wrapping, but she didn't have any, so I needed to go into town to get some. And I don't drink coffee, but I went past Costa. I was like, oh, I'll get a bottle of water or something. And it just so happened that those things, when you line all those coincidences up, it's just like that would be very, very, very remote for that to just be a coincidence, I think.
Yeah.
The fact that I maybe have felt something, or I don't know.
Quantum entanglement.
Quantum entanglement. That's what I think it might be, because... so now I get to the point with him, I get the same with you as well, and my brother, where sometimes I'll be thinking, and then you ring.
Yeah.
Do you get that?
All the time with the missus, yourself, other people, like...
Weird, isn't it? And it's almost like when you get close to people, you suddenly think, I wonder, I might call... Oh, he's ringing.
Yeah,
Oh, mate.
like they'll be thinking about you. Then you start independently thinking about them because they're thinking about you.
Right.
Like you might be thinking, you're not thinking, they're thinking of me.
No.
But like you
it's
just start
something-
thinking, oh, that thing was Steve, though.
Yeah. Crazy. So the most crazy one I've had, which was last year, I'm not going to name names because it's an awful thing that happened, but a girl from my childhood...
When I got checked out on Polaris.
Oh, you've ruined the whole story.
Sorry. It's all about me.
Yeah. There was a girl that I grew up with when on the first street on this house that I told you we grew up in. And I'm not going to use her name because it's like I say, it's
Marjorie.
We'll call her Jane Smith. And so what I was always under the impression, both her parents were heavy smokers. Right back in the 80s, they were both heavy smokers. And I was under the impression, from what I've been told by whoever, that her dad had died years ago from smoking-related disease. So I thought that was just to give it. And whatever reason, I'd finished teaching one day, and I don't know whether we ever do this, but I suddenly thought, oh man, I wonder what Jane... I just suddenly thought about her. I hadn't thought about her in 25, 30 years. And I thought, I wonder what she's up to. Yeah. So I went on Facebook and tried to find her. And I found her. I was like, oh man, look, she's happily married. She's got nice, lovely kids. And I'm so glad she's happy. And then I saw a picture. I sort of scrolled through a little bit and I look at some of the pictures. And I saw both parents. And they were old. I was like, no way. Fuck, I thought her dad died years ago. But they were old. I was like, oh, that's so beautiful. Like they're both still alive. And they're both into old age. Amazing. That's so cool. And that was kind of it. And I just thought, that was the end of it in my mind. And then, so again, this was around Christmas time, weirdly, and my mum and dad came down to kind of do the present swap and stuff. And the day when they first got down, she was like, "Oh, have you heard about Jane Smith?" And again, I hadn't heard my mum say that name since I was a child. I thought, "No, what's happened?" She said, "Both her parents got killed in a car crash 2 weeks ago." I was like, "What the fuck? Like, what are the odds of that?" Like, so if I tracked it back and I was like, when I thought that, they were still alive. And I was like, oh my God, they're still alive. The fact that I thought about her randomly, when I was just wistfully thinking after teaching, and then thought about her dad and her parents and saw them alive, I was like, oh, that's amazing. It was round about that time they both died. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, you can't, that is...
You might have a superpower.
Well... I'm glad you said that. I don't know what that is, though. That's not quantum entanglement. That is... I don't know what that is.
You put a curse on them.
I put a hex on them. Oh, dear. I hadn't thought of it like that. I'm a curse.
Stop thinking about me.
Don't think about me. Oh, another one. He's fucking dead now. Crazy, though, yeah?
That's mental.
Yeah. Again, it's...
do more mindfulness.
I might... this same friend that I told you about, he reckons I should meditate on it, because it could be some sort of, like, weird little... ability.
But like we were saying, like, we don't understand. Like, quantum entanglement's weird as fuck.
Totally.
We don't understand the possibility of what the human brain is capable of. Now, I'm not saying you were responsible for their death, but it's a weird thing.
Almost like I felt something was coming.
Weird.
Like
Yeah. You might have been like seeing the future.
Oh, I could feel the future almost. Yeah.
My mum's had a few things like that where she's had a few experiences where she felt a certain way, and then something happened. She was like, "God, yeah, like I felt that before I happened."
Yeah, I've had a few little ones, like just, and maybe there's a confirmation bias because I've had things like that happen. But I did a gig in Athens in the summer, and we finished the first set, and there was American sort of clientele, and I was queuing for this toilet, and this guy came up. He was like, "Oh man, you guys are great. Where are you from?" I was like, "London." And I said to him, "Where are you from?" And as I said that, I thought, "Chicago." And he went, "Chicago." I was like, "Whoa!" I just literally thought about Chicago. And that you could put that down as a coincidence, but that's a 1 in 50 chance of me getting that right in that moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's a confirmation bias, but that is weird. But the previous story, that's fucking weird. Like, that's coincidences on top of coincidences on top of... The probability of that that being nothing is fairly low, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so crazy. But you've had a few, haven't you? Didn't you see a client or something?
Yeah, that was weird. That was not that long ago. Saw a client in reception talking to the reception team at Gym 01 and thought, oh, that's weird. I've never seen him like wearing like a shirt and stuff. And so I kind of look over to try and get his eye, and I'm like, oh, it's not him. It's like another person that just sort of from behind looks like him. Carry on training. 5 minutes later, look over, and he is in reception wearing a shirt.
Which is random in its own right.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And like, yeah, I've never seen him in reception, Never seen him wearing a shirt. And I was like, oh, Jim. He was like, oh, yeah, hi, I just came in to sort out like some membership stuff. And I'm like, if I hadn't have made a point of looking at the first guy to check it wasn't him, like I would have been like, oh, it must have just been him. But I'm like, I checked that it wasn't him. It was someone that I've never seen before. So obviously, for my money, like what makes sense is Jim's going like driving around doing his thing, and he's like, oh, I need to pop into the gym because like I need to sort out my membership thing. And he's thinking about me, and so then I entangle with him, and I'm like seeing a guy, and I'm like, oh, that looks like Jim. Like, but Jim's obviously coming into the gym thinking about the gym, so we've entangled.
I think so. What we were talking about earlier. So what for listeners? What we were talking about earlier was
weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it's.
I wonder how we can draw this back to jiu-jitsu. I think.
Well, I reckon.
You carry on.
Yeah, I reckon if you can get to a stage where you are quantumly entangling with someone when you're rolling with them, and you can feel this future stuff, you're always going to be a couple of steps ahead.
Yeah, you know what he's going to try.
It's like the ultimate chess. It's like I'm not 2 or 3 moves ahead. I know what your 2 or 3 moves ahead are. I'm always going to be that one step ahead of you. That's the one. If you can get to that stage,
you're like planting thoughts in his mind.
Yeah, like a Jedi mind trick. Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. I do. The next time I invent a move, I'm going to call it the quantum entanglement. We need to find a new leg locking position.
That's got to be a leg lock, isn't it? Yeah, the quantum entanglement. So it has to be a certain position which overtly elicits a move out of them for you to land in. Like, obviously a lot of moves do that, but something that has that kind of a flavour to it.
Maybe it could be the weird heel hook thing where you control the toes with the leg. Because I'm like, yeah, get to saddle.
Yeah, you're landing really well there. Oh dear.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's the one.
That sounds better than the pike lock.
Yeah, pike lock sounds like a thing you buy to beef up your home security.
I need to pick up my son, so let's call it a day there.
Okay.
But that was wonderful.
That was cool, wasn't it? We should do more things like that.
I hope you enjoyed that.
Yeah, we hope you enjoyed it. Just leave something in the comments as to whether you think that was any good.
Yeah, tell us about your ghost stories or weird experiences in the comments, and we'll just mock you and say you're crazy.
Yeah, there's got to be plenty. There's got to be plenty in Pompey, aren't there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let us know. We're interested to hear it. Cool. Well, we'll see you next time, boys and girls.
Bye.
All right, guys, let's bow there and then we'll call it a day.